What's up guys, Matt here from Sales Sniper with another YouTube video. What I wanted to go over today is how I became to do what I do and why my company is called Sales Sniper and a few other things. So yeah, I guess the reason why it's called Sales Sniper is because I was a sniper in the Australian Special Operations. I did that for like 6-7 years, had a few combat deployments, hence why I'm kind of covered in tattoos. That tattoo is one of those are the two insignias of the companies in the unit that I was in. So that's a Viking, that's a wolf. Just give a little flex there, just so you know. And that's my son's name, and I've got my daughter's name, and I've got a rifle here, all kinds of stuff, right? But yeah, so when I got into the military, like I wasn't really qualified to do that much. I got in when I was like 19 years old. And then when I left, I was like 26, and I just really had no life skills except for like combat stuff, which, you know, doesn't really translate very well into everyday life. And so what I did is I decided to become a personal trainer. I went traveling for a year to decompress so I could learn how to be a normal human being again. And then when I came back, I had a friend of mine who was in personal training. And then from there, yeah, just became a personal trainer and realized quickly that I enjoyed like the business side of it more. I enjoyed, I guess, the people side of it. And so after about a year of working in a big box gym, like a Fitness First, the equivalent of like a Bally's or something like that, and I was quite successful. I was making about 200K a year my first year. And the reason why was because I really set aside time to do sales, because my dad was like, hey man, like you need to focus on the sales component, because he was in business, and he was like, you know, you can be a great trainer, but you have to put the time aside to actually get the people in. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. So tip out there for the trainers, I left Monday open every single day. And so Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. I would leave it open, and I would prospect during that time. So what I did is I opened up my own gym. And then I realized I was grossly underprepared to open my own facility. I had no idea about proper sales or proper marketing, and then did a whole bunch of coaching to get better, invested every single dollar I had, plus a whole bunch that I didn't have, into getting better. And then after a while, ended up being kind of part owner in a whole big chain of gyms, and sort of focusing more on the sales side. That's kind of where I really got my sales chops, because I was having to do literally hundreds and hundreds of sales every single month into like a $97 or a $200 or a $400 program. And I had to do all the sales over the phone. And so that kind of led me to becoming a bit of like, not an expert, but a bit of a, you know, someone who had a lot of experience in doing phone sales. And then from there, it just kind of spiraled. So once I left that company, I started doing sales for gyms myself. And then I brought on an operations manager because it was getting so busy. And then from there, it just kind of went out of control. And then I started doing sales for the marketers who were doing the marketing for the gyms, and just all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm gonna pause it here. Hey guys, I'm back. I had to do a podcast. Okay, so yeah, so when I was a personal trainer, opened up my own gym, okay? And then from there, I quickly realized that I was pretty underqualified to be running a gym. So a place that actually required brick and mortar, the whole box and dice, because I just didn't have the marketing, didn't have the sales tactics. I went real deep into the coaching world. And with that, kind of found my niche within selling. So I really started carving out myself as a bit of a sales guy. I did a whole bunch of courses. Some of them were good, some of them were crap. But even the crap ones, I learned something that was pretty handy. And so I really just like randomly fell into this, and I very quickly realized that I had an affinity for it. And I did only about 18 months ago did I do like my very first kind of realm into the high ticket. But I'd done thousands and thousands and thousands of sales before that. When I went into the high ticket, Traffic and Funnels ran this thing, and you guys might have heard of Traffic and Funnels. They ran this sort of 21-day sales or 30-day sales boot camp, whatever it was. And essentially they had like a competition. And I'd never really done much high ticket selling, or at least a little bit, but I had lots of leads because I was selling for a guy who's a fantastic business coach named Barry Magdaliti from the Game Changers. And I was doing his sales, and I was doing about 4 a week, and those are 30K sales. So it was great. It was like $2,000 commission. I was all of a sudden making like 8-10 grand a week. It was pretty phenomenal. I was really enjoying it. And so I did this, and then I just started submitting my numbers, and I was closing around 70%. right? Pretty much straight away, having never really done high ticket stuff before, but it's actually easier than selling low end fitness, to be honest. And so I was posting on my numbers, and then people were like, holy shit, like what's going on here? And I ended up winning like all their kind of competitions. So they called it the Golden Gorilla. And that's kind of where it came from. And then with Sales Sniper, it kind of evolved from that. And so I got a pretty decent name for myself. People started wanting to learn from me. I never really wanted to be much of a coach, to be honest. I'm still not a huge fan of coaching people now, unless they work for me. And so I started sort of taking people on, mentoring them, and have them do stuff for me. And then I would take a cut. And then from there, it kind of just developed into what it is now, which is, you know, a 7-figure business that's growing very quickly, getting a reputation, and sort of helping people, the 3 things that we do, which is teach people how to sell, provide sales systems and structures, so rebuilds of entire front ends of sales businesses that want to do sales, right? Like business coaches and stuff like that. And then we do done for you sales, which is where I put in a salesperson into your business and I manage them, right? And so it's just kind of grown very organically. We haven't done any advertising, but I have done a lot of content. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed. Every single day I post on Facebook, every day Instagram, every day LinkedIn, every day Twitter. And then we do once a week on YouTube, because the YouTube ones like this one they need far more editing and a bit more effort to put the production in, so I can't do it more than weekly at the moment, but I'd like to do twice weekly. And then we also do a podcast, right? So we do a lot of stuff just to try and help people as much as we can. The only real low-end thing that we have is a $50 a week thing called the closing code, and I'll put the link in the description below if you want to check it out. You can get your first week for $1, then it's $50 a week after that. No lock-in contract. Feel free to spend $1, come in, take all the content, and leave. I don't really give a shit. So now, how does the kind of the military stuff kind of line up with that? And so I suppose, like, without being douchey, I'm not a guy, like, I do talk about the military, and I've talked about I used to be a sniper and all that kind of stuff, but I don't really ever go into detail because it's not really who I am anymore. And I'm very wary of not attaching myself as and not identifying too much as military. Because not that it's bad for the brand, but for me personally, I see a lot of people get stuck into that trap, and you start to really take yourself too seriously, and you start to think that people should give a fuck that you're ex-military or special operations or a sniper or whatever, and really they shouldn't, and why should they? You know, it tends to open a few more doors every now and then, but essentially, like, the reason why I chose the name is because I saw a parallel between the data that you require to be a good shooter, right, and the meticulous and the precision and the accuracy of the things you have to do and the accuracy of things you have to say. I found a really good parallel with sales, and so I decided to call it Sales Sniper, and also it was super catchy, and the fact that I am a sniper is like a marketing point, right? So that's kind of where it all came from. And like, it's a business that I really enjoy. It's not the first business I've had, but it's the first business that I've really loved running. And then the imposter syndrome has left. And sort of what I mean by that is that, you know, a lot of time in life, you kind of like, when you start to get good at what you do or get some accolades, whatever, you kind of feel like you're faking it. And I felt like that for a long time, especially when I was in fitness. I had some successful businesses, but I never really felt like I had a good handle of what the hell was going on. And then when I got into this business, I felt that way until I really sort of started to realize that I could provide a really good value and a really good service and really help people become more successful. And so that's what I've been doing, and I've been really enjoying it ever since. And I think for me, the more I'm on camera, the more people I help, the more sales guys I help, the more sales we make. You know, we're up to millions and millions of dollars every single month in contract value. And, you know, hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s a month in cash collected. So, you know, I think the more that I do that, the more confident I get, and I hope the more people that I can continue to help. So I know this is a bit of a random video, guys, and most of you on YouTube won't really give a fuck, which is totally fine, but I really just kind of wanted to give people a background as to where I'm coming from, what I'm trying to do, where I want to go. Like, I'd like to be one of the bigger sales coaching organizations in the world in the next 5 years. I'd like to write a book. I want to be doing a couple of YouTube videos every single week. I want to start to incorporate personal branding stuff like vlogging. My mentor when it comes to marketing and branding is Serhnant, who's from $1 Million Listing. So he's my mentor when it comes to that stuff. and I've paid him a significant amount of money to help me do that. My sales mentor is Jeremy Miner, who's a phenomenal sales coach, and my business mentor is Barry Magduletti from the Game Changers. So I feel like I've surrounded myself with probably the best people in the world at doing what they do. By the way, awesome book if you want to check it out, called The Pathway to Freedom, which is Barry's book. I highly recommend it if you're a business owner. It pretty much gives you, this is how you run a 7-figure business and exit from it. So I've started reading that, and I was lucky enough to be interviewed for that book. So yeah, guys, I hope this video was somewhat entertaining. Please feel free to rip me to shreds in the comments down below, as I'm sure that you will. But yeah, guys, I hope that you have an awesome week. And the next videos will all be more sales training content. I'm going to do a couple reaction videos and hopefully do a couple of vlogs. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.